Hello, everyone. Welcome to a new episode of Equilibrium. I'm your host, Bria, and I'm honored today to be here with Sherifa Gayle. She is the creative director and owner of Black and Ugly,
Yeah,
a
yeah, very much.
clothing, a fashion brand. How are you doing?
I'm doing pretty good today. Lately I've been like instilling a very organized schedule, and
Mm,
it's going well. We know it, but like when you do it, it's so much easier. But planning really makes everything so much easier.
so much simpler, right?
Right, yeah.
It's so funny. I was listening to Biggie before we got on this call
Uh-huh.
because I was like, I don't know the reference. I don't know this song.
Oh,
But when
really?
I heard it, I was like, okay, I know what this is.
Yeah. It's funny because people are like, what? When did he say that? And then you play the song, you're like, oh, I know this song. But
That's
you know,
exactly what I was like. Well, duh. Like even so, I sent you the questions beforehand, and
yeah.
I'm like, why would I ask? Like, what were you thinking when you first heard this? Like, but what were you thinking when you first heard the song?
Um, well, the thing is, it was a minute ago, right? So I've heard that song and I knew the lyrics. I'm a big hip hop head.
Mhm.
So when I first heard those lyrics, to me it transcended like he's like, you can call me what you want to call me. However is that transition to me. And it's like you can label me whatever you want, but I will make the definition of who I am. So somewhere and somehow I took that, and then the first shirt I designed was a Biggie shirt. It had like his picture on it and it said "Black and ugly as ever." However,
I like it.
and yeah, and
it.
people kept calling it the Black and Ugly shirt as opposed to calling it like the Biggie shirt.
Right.
It's like I've always like irony, so I was like, all right, I'm gonna take this and flip it though, you know. So
No, that makes sense. I want to know about your background. You're from Harlem.
yes, I
What
was
was
raised in Harlem, but not
yeah.
born.
Okay, tell me your backstory. Tell me
Yeah, okay, yeah,
all
yeah,
about
sure.
you.
I'm Jamaican and I came here when I was going on 8, lived with my dad a little bit in Westchester, and then a few years later I moved with my mom to New York City. And since I was like 14, I've been in Harlem. So I would say I was raised in Harlem.
Okay. Now tell me when you made your first design.
I was in college at the time. So I would say like when I was like about 22.
Hmm.
Yeah, I was about 22. And I was just designing for myself. There was this website called Custom Ink. So I used to
Hmm.
get on there and just play around while I was at work because I've always had an interest in art and fashion. My mom is very fashionable. My dad, he paints and he does upholstery. He's a
Mm.
upholsterer as a living. So I've always been around like fabrics and fashion and stuff like that. So designing my own t-shirts is just something I just did because, I was bored at work.
You had access
Yeah,
to it.
I had time. And I made the shirts and then people, got an interest in them. And I was like, maybe I can do something with this. So that's around the time where I made that t-shirt
Hmm.
and I was going to City College and people were buying the t-shirt, but I was I was ordering them off Custom Ink and selling them, and Custom Ink is charging me like $30 for a t-shirt.
Yeah.
I'm trying to sell it back. And so I took the time to learn how the whole, t-shirt process goes
Hmm.
and how to buy wholesale and then print like screen printing and stuff like that.
Are you wearing one of your designs right now?
I am, yeah, yeah.
Okay.
This is like one of my original designs when I did my first collection. And
Hmm.
black is the new black.
I like it. And you have quite a few collections under the Black and
Mhm.
Ugly, clothing brand. Talk to me a little bit about those collections and how you name them.
Okay. I don't think I'm the best with names. I think I'm very straightforward with the names. I'm
Hmm.
working on that. But the collections, they just come to me naturally. I can be inspired by anything. So usually I'm just inspired by the Black culture in itself. It could be something as simple as, me going to like a Basquiat exhibit. He's one of my favorite artists, as he's a lot of people's favorite artists,
Hmm.
but seeing him, James Marshall is another one of my favorite, but just going to see their stuff can influence me. Spending time with my family influences me. So I draw inspiration from anything. It could be very sporadic at times, and I design in that. But however, lately I've been following the fashion calendar, so it's a little
Nice.
hard. It's a little hard to draw an inspiration when you know you have to be inspired
Hmm.
by a certain time. But prior to that, I would just draw inspiration from anything. So like one collection is the Black Kings collection, which is very inspired by Basquiat, and my logo is very Basquiat-ish. It's a
Hmm.
skull. Um, and that collection, he has a piece called Red Kings. So Red Kings 1981. So I took that and I flipped it over to Black Kings 1987, which is the year I was born. And instead of using like, his art, I used my skull, my logo, and put his crown on top of it, to represent, the inspiration and the meaning behind the painting.
I like that. So it's a lot of like subtle, paying homage to a lot of your favorite
Mm-hmm.
artists and things. And I
Right.
noticed that in a lot of the designs, you have Malcolm X, Nina
Mm-hmm.
Simone. Is that sort of where that same inspiration is coming from?
Yeah, I believe that like towards my towards end of high school, I had this teacher, shout outs to Jeff.
Hey, Jeff.
Yeah, right. Just my first name in the high school I went to. It was a very small high school in the city. And he enlightened me, right? And so I read like the autobiography of Malcolm X at the time. I started watching documentaries. And so my first designs, and which are like some staple pieces of my brand, are from those people because that's when I like learned, what Black culture is and what it means to me.
Tell me what it means to you.
Um, it's a lot. It's a lot. I believe we're not a monolith.
Mhm.
But to me, it's this pride I carry in knowing that my people have gone through so much, and like we've heard the quote before, like I am their wildest dreams. So I try to live my life very like I try to make it very enjoyable for me and meaningful, and I like to wear stuff that carries that message too. So although I'm very fashionable, I want my clothes to mean something when I put it on. So like something is this simple t-shirt, it makes a statement without me having to say anything.
Mhm.
So yeah, that's the lane I try to go for.
Oh, I like it. Now, tell me, what is your favorite piece from any of your collections?
That's so hard to choose. I think I really, really like the Young Gifted and Black
Mm.
collection because a whole family could have that same design on. It's very like everything else, very straight to the point. I've played around with different colorways, so every season I do come out with different colors and I do put it on different things, and it's inspired me to start formulating this nonprofit I want to start. I haven't launched it yet or anything, and it's the first time I'm actually
First
talking about it
time.
to the public. But the Young Gifted and Black Collective, and I just want to own in on like tapping into our youth more
Mm.
and giving them opportunities and inspiring them to be as whatever they would like to be. And I feel like that can start with clothes.
No, I like that. That's beautiful.
Thank you.
One of the things that you had mentioned or you already are doing is mentoring young Black women, right?
Hmm. Yeah.
Tell me, how is that going for you? Why you wanted to do that and
Right.
where you're
Uh,
taking that?
it started out as my friend asking for a favor. At the time, she had a nonprofit, and that's when I just started the brand. And she was like, "Can you come in and bring some stuff with you?" At the time, that's the first collection I had was a Young Gifted and Black collection, and it was I would say like preteens and teenagers, all young Black women, and it was just me talking about self-esteem at the time.
Mm.
And being that the brand had that name, it's like I had to explain it to children and
Yeah.
and break it down, and I had to make it so much more simpler, but they still did, were able to get it. So it started off with self-esteem classes as a favor, but after doing that class, I realized, okay, this means something to me. It felt good, connecting with the youth, and I have a lot of children in my family, so it was very natural and easy
Hmm.
to do that. But I just want to inspire them. I know that I've been inspired by so many people growing up, so I just want to, pay it back.
Man, I like that about you. That sounds so you describe your brand, how you have to like break down the title of it.
Right.
One of the ways or the adjectives that you use for the brand is, raw and
Mhm.
unapologetic. Why would you choose those adjectives? What do those mean to you?
Right. Those two words to me just mean very like being very authentic
Mm.
and not apologizing for who you are, right? I think oftentimes the Black people we can box ourselves in because we don't want to step on any toes, we don't want to insult anyone, and we're just
Hmm.
being ourselves. We're not trying to make anyone feel anyway, and that is a reflection of them and not you. So I think those two words are something that I use because I want to be very transparent within the pride I have for myself.
Ah, I feel like I mean, you could write these things down.
Right? Right. I'm definitely gonna play this back and write some things down.
Yeah. Now tell me what initially inspired you to start thinking this way? Like how do you work on your mindset?
Um, before we started, I was talking about podcasts. I do like to hear people talk. I love listening to other points of view. So I think just like being that I had a high school teacher who like enlightened my brain, I started to think everything is not as it seems.
Mm.
So that inspired me to start this journey of where I'm trying to like, get to know my history because like my family, that's not something we talk about too much. We don't like talk about like who came before us and what that means and how we end up where we are. But as a whole, I'm able to do that on my own just by studying Black culture. So I
Hmm.
think that's where it comes from. Yeah.
Yeah. I find that a lot of Black artists and, people similar to you don't get a
Mhm.
lot of the recognition that, we deserve.
Right.
How are you navigating that space? And why do you think that your brand is like, what sets your brand apart?
I think what sets my brand apart is it has purpose. It has a message, but it's also wearable. It's like everyday wear. So it blends those two worlds because oftentimes like when we look at Black culture things, it's like, oh, here's a fist and here's a afro and
Oh my gosh, everywhere. The
right?
same
And
thing. Yeah.
it's the same thing over and over, and it can be very cheesy, very flat. So I wanted to still, take that and make something better of it, something that I can wear every day. But like I said, I'm saying something with it. So yeah, I love fashion. I try to, follow the trends as much as I can and implement that within the brand. So it's not overwhelming at the time. It's like, okay, I see a t-shirt. I know how to wear a t-shirt. I see a jacket. I know how to, and you can dress it up, dress it down. So it's a
Mhm.
good balance in between the two.
Yeah, it's so funny that you mentioned that same fist. You see it everywhere. You see
Everywhere
it
it's oversaturated.
oversaturated, and you
And
see
we're
it
more
from
than
like,
that. We're more than that.
and
We're
you
more
see
than
it.
our hair.
Oh my gosh, yes, and you see them like brands like Walmart has it on like ice
It's
cream now. Like just like
yeah,
stop.
that whole Juneteenth thing was ridiculous, right?
Oh my gosh. But
And my thing is like, do you guys have Black people in the space?
they
And
can't. They
there's no
can't.
way. There's no way.
There's no way, or they're just not listening to them, which could also be happening.
That's a very true thing. That's a
But
very true
like,
thing, right?
I'm tired of it.
It is, yes. I'm trying to get into that space where I'm not I'm not like making us I'm not playing out what's there already, but
Mhm.
I'm trying to inspire new things, like
Yeah.
trying to make it, fashionable, something that you wear with pride.
And you incorporate a lot of Harlem into your
Yes,
designs.
yes.
Talk to me about what elements you're drawing from Harlem. What does that mean?
Um, I think like learning and when I was so young and realizing what Harlem was
Hmm.
and what it continues to be, it was just inspiring in itself to know that I live in a place that has so much history for Black people, right? And continues to have history. It's inspiring in itself. Yeah.
Yeah. Now, I want to know more about the brand and the
Hmm.
clothes that you sell. Is
Hmm.
it shirts, hats, pants?
Yeah.
Talk to me about
Uh, it's I would say it's a line of, it's a lifestyle brand, right? So we definitely do have shirts, t-shirts, jackets, socks, pins. I'm working on a robes right now
that.
because I wanted,
Ooh.
yeah, right. I want like when I imagine someone who's in my brand, I want to encapsulate like everyday life, right? So
Hmm.
it's like something as simple as a coaster and a like I said, a robe, slippers, like things you just put on your house, but things that definitely speak to you with a message. So I'm working on just stepping outside of clothes
Okay.
and yeah, stepping outside of clothes and doing more accessories, more like everyday
Mhm.
items.
Now we before we got on the call, we mentioned
Hmm.
the black and white palette and how that's your
Yeah,
favorite color
it
palette.
is. It is. It is.
Why? Why is that your favorite?
You can add to it. It's a
Oh,
color.
okay.
Yeah, yeah. Like right now, yeah, my wall is black and white, but like
Mhm.
our accessories are mustard, right? And it plays in, and then when the seasons change, we could change that to like burnt orange. It's just these two colors that can play with any color very well. So it opens space for for alterations.
I like it. Now,
Thank
do you
you.
have shoes?
No, I don't yet.
Is that
See, I
something you're
want to get
thinking?
it right. I want to get into
Here,
that because
right
I'm a big right here, right?
here.
I'm a big sneakerhead. Like I love sneakers. Actually, tomorrow's the last day. I've been doing a sneaker challenge for March, and I've been wearing a different pair every day.
Oh.
So yeah, I have a lot of sneakers. um, so I do want to get into that. That would be something that I like to play around with. As a designer, it's like I've been doing clothes, but like I said, I want to expand more into everything. Last summer, I worked with my friend. He's a carpenter, and we did a coffee table for my brand. And actually need
How
to
did
put it
that come
on the
together?
site. So I know he did woodwork, and he hit me up like, hey, I'm trying to work on some things. If you have any ideas, let me know. And then within conversation, he was like, what do you think about if we use your logo for something? And we came up with the idea that maybe a coffee table would be dope. And we did the coffee table, and it is really dope. It's in my living room. Um, And we did a counter the other day. So I have a
Oh.
counter that is one of my designs on it, the Reefy design. And I use it when I'm doing pop-ups and stuff. So just like working with other people who are talented in their own aspect and then in that art with it works really, really well. So
Now, are the counters in the table, are they covered in fabric?
no, they're wood. So the counter is
Oh,
it's painted. He painted the design on it. So it's like a black and white design.
black and
Right.
white.
It's a black and white design. And when I'm doing pop-up shops, it's like the counter I use to check people out.
Cool.
But it stands out.
Yeah, I was noticing on your Instagram, there's a really cool, I don't know, a type of bottle that you wrapped
Yeah.
in denim, and it
Yeah.
showed your
The
whole like
Douce bottle.
process.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is it a Hennessy bottle?
It's a Douce bottle.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'll do that. Okay. What was that like? Where did you come up with that idea?
I think I was drinking that day, right? And the bottle was empty. I was looking at it, and it was an idea I had for a while, but I just didn't like. You know how ideas work.
Yeah.
They settle, and at some point you just have to get it out.
Right.
So it was that. I can't necessarily tell you exactly how it sparked. It was just something that was in my mind, like wrap the bottle, see how it comes out. I think at the time I was bartending at my uncle's restaurant. So maybe being there and seeing like how flat, just how boring the shelf could be, even if you threw something else on it, it made it a little better.
More interesting.
Yeah, I made a pattern for it. And then I cut the fabric out, glued it, put some zippers on it. And it's a dope. The bar at home, we have a few denim bottles. So I'm gonna try my best to make a template of all that.
Oh,
So the whole bar is denim.
whole collection.
Right. Right. It's things you don't think about, but when you see them, like, ooh, I want that.
Yeah. I was like, I don't even drink at all. And I was like, I kind of want this.
Right, exactly. You can put some tea in it, whatever.
There we go. Exactly.
Right.
There's a question I want. Oh, you were in college at one point, but was it for fashion?
I went to school for communications. So yeah, with a concentration on advertising and PR. So essentially I'm still doing that because I do that with my brain. But I've always enjoyed the idea of just, seeing how people think and what triggers in them into thinking that, and color theory and stuff like that. So
and were you always
art, I did, something in between that.
I feel like when you'd because I have a communications degree too, but
okay,
yeah. So we're all kind of like, we want to do this, but like we want to do a lot of other stuff too.
Exactly, right. And it's a good medium to, to branch out into other things.
Exactly. And what you learn from that, you can definitely take to your brand.
Exactly. And I did, yeah.
I want to know about the challenges that you faced when you first launched a brand. Having a brand is not easy. There's going to be, naysayers, so tell me what your experience was like.
I feel like the hardest part of having a brand is capital, because you have to make these things and then you have to sell them. So the hardest part was and still is capital, because it's not that easy for Black creatives to get that. We're oftentimes overseen. So it's a work in progress. I'm learning. I'm getting better with my finances so that I can get grants. I can get, things like that are out there for us. So it takes a lot of time and research. Another thing is building a team. I feel like as Black women, we feel like we can do a lot just because how just how society is set up. So that has been hard for me to build a team and trust in others, and trust that yeah, I'm not doing it, but they can probably do it just as good or even better than I can. And I'm working on that. So I am slowly building the team, but it's given that trust.
Given that trust, understanding
Mhm.
that they've got it. I don't have
Exactly,
to be a
right.
part of everything.
And I can't juggle 100 things because I can't do 100 things well. Maybe I could do like 2 or 3 well, but I can't do 100.
Hmm.
So
Yeah.
it's a learning process. And I think even outside of business is something that, in life that we have to learn. So yeah.
I I completely agree with you. I think I had a conversation with my friend and she's like, no,
Mhm,
like you should be doing a lot more with this and,
mhm.
hire some people. I'm like, I can
Yeah,
do it. I got it.
you're right. Right. No, no.
You can't because you take on so much stress from that and then
Mhm.
that just you can't think creatively.
Yeah, you can't. It's a blockage, right?
Hmm.
It's like you're dabbling in so many little things that you're not building the bigger picture for other things. So
Hmm.
yeah, it's been something that I've been going back and forth with. But as the brand gets bigger, it's like, okay, I can't keep doing this.
And the brand is doing so well.
Thank you, thank you.
It's
Yeah,
doing so well. I saw you recently got an award,
I did.
right?
There's this festival coming. Called the Harlem Festival of Culture, and they're bringing back. I don't know if you watched the documentary yet, but it's on Hulu. It's called The Summer of Soul.
I haven't seen that
It's
yet.
about this. Yeah, it was about this festival that happened in Harlem in 1969,
Mhm.
and it had like Stevie Wonder and Nina Simone, Diana Ross, all these like big, really big superstars at the time. It was free to the public, and it happened like in Morris Park, like on 124th. So they're bringing that same aesthetics back to Harlem. So there's going to be a music festival coming this July, I believe July 28th, that weekend of the 28th, and yeah, it's going to be a bunch of different activities in Harlem. Uh, and
I'm
it's going to be
excited.
really, really dope. So yeah, they partnered up with Steve Madden. They had a design challenge, and I won the audience pick.
Yes, you did.
Yes, thank you.
Congrats.
Thank you. So I'm going to be working with the festival to implement my design somewhere. And yeah, looking
I'm
very
so
forward.
happy for you.
Thank you.
That's
Thank you.
exciting. I'm
It
excited
is.
to follow you on your journey and to support you.
Thank
Tell
you.
me
Thank
one
you.
last question for you.
Yeah, sure.
I want to know what you want your legacy to be.
That's such a hard question, right? I think I want my legacy to be something I've never been asked, right? And I want to inspire others to go after what they want and just be confident in yourself. Like I try my best to believe in myself. And I feel like if I can give that back to people, like that is the cornerstone of things sparking in life and connections happening. You have to believe before anyone does. And I hope that I can make people believe in who they are as well.
Sharifa, I already feel better talking to you.
Thank you. Me too. I feel really good. Thank you.
Now tell us
This is so
how,
good.
yeah, I've enjoyed this. Tell people how they can find you online, how they can order your clothes.
Right. Okay, yeah. You can follow the brand. It's on Instagram, it's at black dot the letter N dot ugly. Or you could just type in black and ugly. It should pop up. The website is blackandugly.com. However you spell it, you could put the N in the middle between those two words, or you could put A and D, it'll still pop up. Yeah, those are two main ways to get at me.
In the Catcher at the Festival.
Yes, yes. Okay, so if you go on my website, there's an events tab and it lists all the things I'm doing. So I will definitely be at the festival in July. But before that, I'm trying to do Essence Fest. And
Really?
yeah,
You
yeah,
hold, oh, that'd be good.
that'd be so good. I just need Essence Fest to hurry up and,
I
open that.
mean, we gotta contact them, make it happen. That'd be
Right.
so
I've been on their
cool.
case. Yeah. So during the summer I do a lot of pop-ups. This year I'm aiming to do more festivals. So I'm definitely gonna be at Afropunk. I've done things with them in the past. So I'll be there. Yeah. Really big music festivals that's happening in the
Wow. You're
city.
working on the calendar.
Yes, I am. I'm planning,
There you go. Making
right?
it
I'm planning.
happen.
Yes.
Sharifa, thank
This is so
you.
good. Thank you. I really
So
appreciate
good.
it.
I mean, thank you for so much for doing this. I appreciate it. I will support you. Hopefully all my
Yeah.
Equilibrium fans will support you. We're excited to see where you go with a nonprofit and with your brand.
Once I launch it, I'm gonna let you guys know, so you guys can amplify it as well.
Yeah, come back on the show.
Yes,
to talk about it.
Anytime.
All of your inspirational quotes that we need to start making.
Yes. As soon as this is up, I'm literally gonna listen back and just write out some of the things I said.
I appreciate it. Thank you so much for joining us.
And enjoy the rest of your day.
Yeah, thank you guys. We'll see you next episode.
All right, take care. Bye-bye.